Okay, should be good to go. Can't be much worse than the previous stream. So, we are in Taymyr finally. I didn't do anything yet, I just left the garage to make a screenshot for the thumbnail of the stream because I forgot. I am kind of looking forward to this map because I really don't remember much of it. Except that you find a very good scout here, the Tatrin, and the, what's it called, the Tayga, something or other, which should be this guy here. So I think I want to go do that first. And then we'll just start doing the towers. I hope the volume is decent. It's a bit fiddly to set up, I will say. See a few markers, because I don't remember the layout as such. And I've been playing too much roadcraft yesterday specifically, where setting markers is when you set markers with R3 instead of R2, so I have to re-familiarize myself and I'll just follow. Speaking of roadcraft, I have mixed feelings about that game. I still haven't finished the demo. I thought it would be just the first big mission, which is the repair of the floodgates in the first map. There is... oh, it's always on. Nice. Ideally, I'm not gonna get stuck right away. But yeah, the demo of roadcraft is... well, it takes longer than I thought it would. I do enjoy many aspects of the game. It does have the satisfaction of doing stuff that you get in SnowRunner. This is very sticky. But it also has a lot more tedious stuff than SnowRunner, unless I just don't know how to do it less tediously. Like, it's a weird mix of logistics where you don't get the drive, like with the routes you have to plot for the AI convoys. If you haven't played roadcraft at all, maybe just to explain my basic understanding of the game is that you try not to fall over. But yeah, you have to scout to some extent and uncover new factories and warehouses and general locations. Then you have to plot routes between two locations. essentially you're plotting routes for you to not drive necessarily. It's for the AI trucks that will deliver stuff to and from locations. And you have to make sure that the routes are drivable for the AI convoys, which involves the fixing of roads. Combined with that, I mean, I feel like that's the main gameplay loop. Oh, this is rather iffy. How will I do this? Kinda doubt I can drive over this myself. Kind of a feeble grind, in a sense. No, 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 no. I reject your tip. Nuts. What to do? Yeah. That's gonna be all she wrote, I think. So I'm not gonna be within reach of anything else. No. Okay. Starting over. Not the best start. So yeah, you plot routes, but you also do get to do some actual trucking yourself. Obviously, I think that makes sense. I don't know why I was so surprised about it. Of course, you have to control the trucks with which you fix roads, which are not trucks you typically or ever get to use in SnowRunner because they're not in the game. Like, I forget the exact name, but like the sand leveling one with the big dig plate. This is very technical. And tip trucks to deposit sand over to be fixed spots. There was one delivery which I did have to do myself in a flatbed truck or a sideboard bed truck. Jay the Jorky, hello, how are you? It's been a minute. On my end, that is. Oh, come on. I'm really struggling with this section. I am doing pretty well. Glad to be back to streaming. Hopefully the audio is decent. I know in the last stream from, was it 2 weeks ago? I think so. The previous stream, audio was not at all good in that one. I think it might be, like, it might have been the mic. I was blaming the room, like the echo-ness of the room. It might have been, definitely contributed, but for whatever reason, my usual mic the one I have been using for the last few months, is not working correctly. If it is working at all. Sorry. But anyway, I don't want to keep rambling about roadcraft so much, unless you want me to. But there's not much left to say anyway. Still working through the demo to make up my mind if I really want to buy it and start playing it, recording it, streaming it. It's just a bit weird. It's hard to really explain how I feel because I don't really know how I feel about it yet. Some of the aspects of the game are much more simplified, like there doesn't seem to be any impact damage as such. I am gonna have to be very careful. Yeah, I thought I might as well. I don't have any... Oh. I don't have any Russian heavy trucks yet. I have money to buy one. Like, whatever. From memory, I did like the Voron Grad. I could buy an Azov with the 6 or the 7, I believe. Off-road, yeah. That was improper terminology from me. I mean, like, I don't have any kind of truck, Russian truck, with which to do any kind of hauling. Can I not fix the Tayga? Azov 6 is really good for early game. Yeah. I keep mixing up the numbers. I think the 6 is the tall one. Is it the biggest one? I don't know, but I'm sure it is the tallest one. I can't seem to do anything to fix Tayga. I might indeed be too far away, but still, this should be close enough, but it's not. 7 is the 10 by 10, yeah. Those two I did, like, I did also use the... What is the other one even called? 6, the 7, and the... something else. Oh, quest. I didn't know there was a quest for it. That is my mistake. But I doubt it's going to be a contract. It's probably going to be a task. No, it's not going to be anything here. The 5, yeah. I guess it is the 5. I don't know the numbers by heart. It took me a long time to even remember the 6 and the 7 numbers, and even now I'm not sure if I remember them correctly. 64131 you mentioned. And I think the other is 75432. I don't know. I might be taking on more than I can chew with this. I thought it would be easier to pull out. It's kind of moving. But not really. Oh wait, but the task is right there. I am a dummy. I can at least get it repaired if that is part of the mission. Perhaps, like if I can repair it, I can make it use itself to pull it out. Okay. Yeah, now I can start fixing it. I doubt I'm gonna have enough repair parts. Yo. Is your favorite scout the Tatrin? I can only assume that's the one you mean. No, don't recover. Yeah, okay. Refuel. What do I need to do? Or I just need to repair it first. TOT 166. TOS 166, I assume. Is that the very small one that likes to do wheelies? Wait. Yeah, it seems I underestimated the capabilities of the loaf. I'm gonna try and winch myself around so I'm facing the right way up, ideally. Tiny, quite stable, and great in muds. Yeah, I remember using it. I remember not really liking it, but I forget why exactly. I suspect as soon as I do any kind of winching, I'm just gonna pull myself upside down. well. Yeah, I'm really just buying time at this point. I can't fully repair it. I would have to make another trip. But I do want to try still if I can turn on the engine, because then maybe I can just tow it back to the garage. I'll be honest, I don't really like it that much. I needed to buy a Scout, and I kind of just chose this one for the memes. It's kind of fun to drive, and it is kind of capable. But my choice was between this and... Is there a shortcut? I don't really know if this pale path is easier than the darker one. I'm not gonna risk it, just gonna go back the way I came. Take the regular one. Yeah, see? This is where my knowledge lacks a bit. Because our darker colored paths, the regular ones and pale ones, the more well, more difficult ones. Because from the looks of it, I would say that the pale one is easier to navigate, but it probably isn't. I don't know if there's going to be a part 2 to this task, or I have to deliver it somewhere first, like with the White Western. But I'm hoping that I can just take it back to the garage, refill the loaf with parts and fuel, and then I will just have the Tayga. The bright ones are usually smaller, sometimes less muddy, but sometimes really muddy. Right. So basically you have to know. No. What are you doing? The Tayga is faster and like being very pushy. experience, yeah. It would be nice if it was in any way consistent, but you know, 'tis what 'tis. Didn't finish my thought from earlier, but my choice for scout was between the loaf and the yar. I know that the yar is objectively better, but I remember it being painfully slow and kind of annoying in that sense. And I'm fairly sure. Wait, what am I doing? I'm fairly sure that once I get the Tetrin, I won't use the yar ever again. And since I have to be a little bit careful with money, well, we have a pretty comfortable amount right now. So I guess I could buy the yar. I don't know. I want to see what vehicles I can find for free first. Yeah, that's the refuel and repair. Okay, nice. New phone doesn't know how I type yet. I struggle with that when I have to type something on my wife's phone. That's mainly due to language. Also, it's an iPhone, so that complicates things. Is that really the best for rescuing big trucks that are stuck? Yeah. Looking forward to getting it. But wait. So we have one of the best trucks in the game. This one. It's all to be found. Off-road gearbox. Race suspension to be found. Off-road tires, I guess I should buy because, you know, or the mud tires, I suppose. Generally considered the best choice, even though I do like my off-road tires. It's got in more rocky terrain. It's not very good because the big turning radius and low. Yeah, that happened more than once. Specifically in Mandra. I remember there's a rocky beach kind of area to the east of the map where I did get stuck. It's weird how I remember that so specifically, probably because it was very frustrating at the time. Don't get the balloons. Okay. I will follow your advice because generally I'm not a fan of mud tires anyway. So, OHD1 is the one I want, I think. OHS2 or OHD1. The duals are wider, so it should be a bit more stable. Yeah, I'm gonna follow my instincts. advanced medium winch. Wheel I'm not gonna get right now. Tall snorkel. No, I do not. I literally didn't do anything yet. I knew where to find the Tayga because I remembered, because in my first playthrough it took me, well, I forget how long, but way too long before I realized you could even get it, and before I learned that it's one of the best trucks in the game, and it was just lying here up for grabs. So, and also, like I mentioned, I don't have any Russian trucks yet. I only have the ones from the previous maps, which I'd rather not use because I somewhat arbitrarily choose to not use non-region specific trucks. I might change my mind about that, but for now, that is the rule. Could buy this. One of the best early trucks in the game, yeah. Wait, I'm gonna do something, as in fix the light, if I can. Should be better. Buy the Azov 6, please. Yeah, I will sooner or later, so I might as well do it now, I guess. With this Azov and the Tayga, I should get a lot done already, so money shouldn't really be a problem. I will find more upgrades for, at least for the Tayga, probably for the Azov as well. Just want to see. Already have the gearbox. Yeah. Okay, sure. I'll splurge. Very similar thing happened to you. What do you mean exactly? So this is the 10 wheel, which I also do really like. It's a tiny bit cheaper, but not enough to be a deciding factor. Only got the White Western Star after doing all the base game maps, right? Yeah, probably the same thing happened to me. I just didn't know, and I remember struggling to get the white western out. So at some point I must have just given up. I think I did like the 7 better than the 6. Which is a bit of a pickle. Might come down to amount of add-ons, but I think they're pretty much the same. And this has fewer options. I can't decide. So I've got it online saying the white western is really good in Michigan, but somehow didn't click for me that it was already in Michigan. Right. I will end up having both, so 47 with no option. This has bigger wheels. Six is better overall. 7 is good for bigger loads. I have to choose. It's a big chunk of money, which we can't really get back. Okay. Yeah, this. Said something? Yeah, Azov mud tires are the way to go. It's its nose on everything. Yeah, it's a good point. Didn't consider that. I also don't know which tires to get. Because I would get these OHS2. But you say that mud tires are better. I will need the winch. And snorkel, which is there any difference? Because this one is high up. They're all in the same spot, so they must be, I mean, there shouldn't be a difference in how deep water you can go. Only time off-road are better is when you have double in the back. That actually makes sense. So, yeah, I'm not gonna waste precious money on this. I will change the color before I forget. Do kind of like this. I do very much hate this, whatever it's supposed to be. No, no. Maybe, but no. Okay, so tires. Which one do you recommend? inclined to go for these, but I'm not really sure why. I should probably check the spreadsheet. Performance is the same. Well then, might as well get the cheaper ones. Let's have a quick peek. Since I have the spreadsheet, shortcut it, it's not a word, on my phone. The tire comparison thing. All terrain, off-road, mud. MHS, or not MSH, MHS 1, 2 dirt, 2 mud. DMHS 1, 2, and 3 are also 2 and 2. So yeah, they are exactly the same. Not that I was questioning their input. So these, just because I have to choose one. Okay, I think that's everything. I don't know if there's any more lights I would want. Sun visor, no. Bumper. Probably will need some more light, although will I? Because it's never really nighttime in my game. Long days. Looked at that spreadsheet so many times it'd be crazy if I didn't remember something. Yeah. I have looked at it a lot, but I don't remember. I just know that the OH, now I can't remember. I know what they look like. The best OHD tires. The OHD 1. Doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, probably not necessary. Okay, I need to start doing things. Specifically, I should go scout some more. I like the bumper with the 2 squares. Not sure which one you mean. Oh, this one. Yeah. It's kind of cool. I only choose bumpers based on extra lights. I'm gonna recover just to refill the supplies. And let's just start doing towers. Don't really know which one is going to be easier to get to first. I'm going to have to do them all anyway, so I think it can be at random. I think I vaguely remember where the Tatran is. I want to say it's somewhere in the second map near the quarry. Best part about the Azov 6 doesn't get damaged on the Taymyr road because it's so low. Yeah, I think that's why I didn't like the 5 mostly. Oops. The 7 also has a long and rather low nose. It's a fly, like, tiny fly in front of my face. Not low, slow. What do you mean? That's pretty precarious. I thought the 5 was the fastest Azov. On paper, anyway. I think I remember there's a road going down from here. Just taking a moment to appreciate that I can stream again. I'll have to check I'll have to check it when it's published after it's finished. Just to see what it sounds like, because I can't really know right now. I tried to re-watch my streams and kind of skip through them every so often. I mean, not everyone, but I checked some of them afterwards just to make sure there weren't any glaring issues. Oh yeah. I forgot about this bit. A bit of wiggle action. Well, can I winch anything behind me? No. I was trying to turn towards that telephone post. I can turn, but I can't go forwards. I forget if I put mud tires on this or off-road tires. I can't tell from their appearance what they are. They look like mud tires. Oh man. Might have to get the Tayga or the Azov out here to just pull myself out, because I assume I will need to be in this area. I'd rather not recover, because then I'm just gonna get stuck here again. Unless I take a different route, or if I just navigate this intersection a bit smarterly. Yeah, it's not moving. Damn it. I know. I should have bought the Yar. As soon as I got stuck, I remembered how treacherous that small section is. But it's been 3 or 4 years since I was here. Just to get back to roadcraft for a sec. I think my main issue with that game is that it's just not SnowRunner, which is totally unfair. Like, it's not a SnowRunner where you can fix roads. It doesn't have much in common with SnowRunner at all. So I shouldn't really compare it to SnowRunner, but I still am, because that's what you're inclined to do. But right now, I will finish the demo, unless it really goes on forever and I lose interest before it ends. But I don't think I'm gonna buy it unless it's really, really cheap and I have nothing else to play, which is highly unlikely. Okay, just stick to the left. Or at least stay within reach of a winch point. Okay. This place is an absolute B. I'm assuming there's an easier way around this where you don't even need to go through here, at least with the scout. Yeah, no problem. I'm never really confused or offended if people stop chatting for a while. I know most people have other things to do except just sit here and watch me get stuck. Okay. I think we're good. I am here. Just trying to get to this tower. I didn't know, like I didn't want to go through here again because I know it's kind of a, well, I guess it's not that difficult to traverse. And I will need to be here because this looks like potentially the starting point for a task. Well, yeah. Oops. Everywhere you go in the loaf is going to be hard. Well, you're not sugarcoating it. Really, if I was smart, and assuming you can go to different maps already, if they're not locked, my first order of business should be to find the Tetran. Because that will make everything else easier. They are locked. Okay, great. And then, depending on how it goes with the loaf, I might have to start scouting in the Tayga. Or the Azov, but I assume the Tayga will be a bit more easygoing. Seismic vibrator contracts before the tunnel unlocks. Okay. I remember those vaguely. I don't remember where you need to be in the specific locations. Next time the Azov, next time the loaf is in the garage, I will have to check what tires are on here because they might be off-road tires. I really forget what I slapped on. There was a weird thing where your latest message about the seismic stuff showed up on screen, but it's not showing up in my chat. They look like off-road tires. Yeah, they might be. If so, I'm probably gonna have to swap them out. is rather beautiful, I have to say. I remembered it more flat than it is. Don't take any risky shortcuts without even knowing if they are shortcuts. Okay, first tower with a rather magnificent view. I never know if you have to launch the observation for it to count. I don't think it does. I don't think you do. This could make for rather pretty screenshots. Less aperture thing. Any road that looks shorter will take much longer and will be much worse. Yeah, pretty much. This is, dare I say, almost wallpaper material. I want to be on this side because that's where the light is. I'll try and get a bit closer to the edge. Reminds me of a bunch of screenshots of SnowRunner on Steam. The thing is, this shot of the vehicle is nice, but there isn't much to see in the background. So I don't even know if this is a good shot. Yes, maybe something like this. No, it's too low. I don't want that flower covering up my rear end. Or top down. I feel my brain starting to obsess. I wish that tree right here wasn't there, because then you could see the, whatever it is, the farm. Yeah, I think this is gonna have to do. Can't spend all the ruddy day on one screenshot. Always try to capture the vibe of the wander above the sea of fog painting. To Google. That is a very nice painting, which I didn't even know existed. Very nice. Okay, moving swiftly along. I think, yeah, there was one upgrade here. And I'd say we try and move on to this tower. I really don't remember the layout of the map and like which roads to avoid. Yeah, that makes sense. Kind of a heroic thing. It's a very specific thing that makes me think of if you've played Elden Ring, which I don't know if you have, but you know, there's a very cool reveal after Stormvale Castle when you get to, what's it even called? Liurnia? Where the academy is. Because you start in a relatively small area, as you tend to do in these kinds of games. But then, after the first big boss in Stormvale Castle, the whole map really opens up more. It's a very memorable moment. It was for me, anyway. I spot a mosquito. If I get to this tower, it would be easier along this road, probably. But I want to get to that upgrade first, so... let's get back to the roads. Down to there. I will have to improvise to some extent, because I doubt all of this is going to be easily traversable. Oh. It's very easy to feel like I want to rush. Put a picture on the YouTube community of your channel. You mean like a screenshot? If so, please do. Or do you mean the painting? Either way, no problem with that. Damn it. Well, it's a desperate attempt. I feel like it is slowly getting upright. His head is sticking out the window. Nice. I mean, pretty screenshots are all well and good, but this was pretty funny. Oh, but no, he's not as funny as he was in the game. Yeah, can't really see him that well. I think this is gonna be very appropriate for this stream. Constantly being sideways. Damn flowers. Yeah, just to have some options for later. Don't know why I'm bothering with this, because it's not really gonna work anyway. All the ways. Am I imagining things, or is it kind of getting back upright? You can go look after the stream or now if you want. Oh, the 3 favorites. If you don't mind, I'll do it after the stream because it's gonna. I'll get too distracted. I don't know how I just did what I did. Somehow it worked out. Also, if I check them out on stream now, I feel like I would have to share the screen. And I don't really want to mess with that right now because it's just gonna take up time. I mean, it's not that difficult to do, but you know. Yes, yes. Nope. How long have I been going for? Oh. 1 hour 13. Kind of feels like 2 hours, which is not necessarily a good thing. But in a way it is a good thing, because that means I have more time left. It's 20 past 3. I could easily go on until 5 or so. 5:30 perhaps. Okay, this road is not so bad. I mean, this section of this road is not so bad. I'm sure it'll get worse soon. Quick question, is the game loud enough? It seems a bit quiet for me. It's always kind of a balancing act between volume in the game, volume on my audio interface, and volume in OBS, which doesn't affect me, but it affects you, so it could be a bit louder. Something like that. I have turned down the gain quite a bit. Different syntax. I have the gain turned down quite a bit. Oops. In OBS as well, so if it could still be a bit louder, I should turn it up there instead of in the game. Because if the game is louder for me, then I tend to talk louder, which is not always a good thing. You don't want to know what just happened. It's kind of disgusting. I felt a tiny fly. Or what am I trying to say? I knew there was a tiny fly circling in front of my face. And I think it went up my nose. It's not necessarily fun. Apologies rather, if that was TMI and kind of gross. What is that truck that's there? Drowned truck. No, it's not that. Shouldn't there be a paper marker? I'm tempted to go have a look, but probably shouldn't. I just want to see. Did I scare you off with my fly incident? But yeah, have fun with Cyberpunk. It is a very good game, which I never finished. And thanks for hanging. See you later or next time. I hope I'm choosing the correct approach for that upgrade, because this is denser forest than I was hoping it would be. I think I should be able to sneak through here. Okay, what is this? Raised. I think I was a bit too much outside of the box, and that's why the pop-up thingy didn't show up. So now I don't know for what trucks I just found the raised suspension. And very generally, that's where I need to go. I prefer to get back to that path I was on. No, 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 no. Not straight into the tree. Okay. And now, with a bit of luck, this trail will just lead us vaguely in the right direction. Kind of nice not having any idea. I do remember some specific things about this map when I see them, like that muddy intersection and where the Tayga was. But really, it feels like I've never played this map or this region before, which is actually kind of fun because it's, you know, means I actually have to learn some things again. Where to go, where not to go. With Michigan and Alaska, I remembered most of it, especially Michigan. I remembered almost everything. Alaska, I remembered a lot of it, but definitely not everything. Like the very general layout of the maps I did remember, but I didn't know exactly all the terrain specifics. Okay, there's the tower. All these roads are so picturesque. It's really my sweet spot, 1% aperture. Maybe this is not the best shot. I think if I stop here where I'm in the light, I know I'm spending way too much time making pretty screenshots. I have a thing for low angles, it seems. Should really be on this side because that's where the light is. Yeah. Left must be the way. Potentially dangerous mud pit. Can't read what it says. But I do know the symbol for radioactive material, aka radiation. How do I get there? Could try to go up this hill. Doesn't seem like the best idea. This is the scary plant. I don't really see. This kind of looks like a road, but mostly just like a debris thing. Is this doable? I'm gonna circle back and follow the path in the other direction. I think that's more how you're supposed to go. I think as with many trucks, the loaf is just one you have to kind of know or learn how to drive. A bit like the Fleet Star in a sense. Especially go slowly over any uneven terrain. I don't know if there's a road up to the tower. So all I can do is guess and try to take this shortcut, which seems pretty risky. I bet there is an easier path. It's kind of dense. So we're just taking the scenic route. What to go here? Definitely not straight through the middle, I'd say. Just around to the right. And try not to get stuck on any rocks. careful. Not great. Not terrible. If I can, I want to winch there. I want to see what's over this crest, because there might be a road on the other side. It's pretty easy terrain. Is that an upgrade? No, but that is. Nice to find upgrades without uncovering them on the map. Deflux for a truck I don't have. Is that the small Zix? It's the only Zix I know. Is the tiny one that kind of looks like the Transtar. There is a road. The question is, does it lead to the tower in any way? I think I'm gonna have to try to get to it, because up here to the forest is just not gonna work. Slowly. It's always risky looking away from the game while still holding the accelerator. Gotten into more than a few stupid accidents because of that, because I'm not looking where I'm going, just charging straight into a minor or major calamity. This is the road, I suppose. But I appear stuck. Might be smarter to stay inside the gully. But I'm not gonna be smart. A bit more power, careful through here, because this is just perfect recipe for a silly accident. Oops. stick to the grass as much as I can. It's the one thing I have learned today. Grass safe, mud very often not safe. I should know that by now, just from several hundred hours. But I haven't been playing that much on my PlayStation save. Kinda wish I could speak at least a bit of the, or I could understand a bit of the alphabet. That doesn't really help unless this path goes up and around like this. It's hard to say if it will. Just keep following the path until it goes somewhere. There's no chance I would be able to cut through the forest here. I have a suspicion that we're just gonna end up where I decided to turn back. This will also take us to the abandoned factory, whatever it is. Okay. We're headed straight for the tower now. Well, how do you get up this small cliff? I don't remember this at all. That mine shaft. Are you really supposed to crawl up the rocks here? Should have gone up before the, I mean to the right of where the rocks start. Now what? Refuel while I make up my mind. This is risky, and part of me is screaming at the other part of me that I should just go back and do what I said I was gonna do. No, 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 no. This was a terrible idea. Please, God. I can panic winch if necessary. Okay, okay. Now. I don't think there's much point in heading that way and seeing if there's an easier way up on the other side when I could just try to go up here. Path of least resistance from the low branches. Okay. Sweet. Upgrades. Just one more here. I'm feeling a pretty steep increase in difficulty coming from Alaska. I know Alaska had some kind of tricky bits, but a lot of it was just road. I feel like Michigan was kind of difficult for a starter region. Starts off kind of difficult because you don't know what you're doing the first time. Then it gets easier with a few tricky bits. Alaska has snow, which is like a new thing. But overall, I'd say Alaska is maybe a bit easier than Michigan. But now Taymyr is going to be more difficult than Michigan. So, I guess back down the way we came. Check out this upgrade. Should be able to get down to it. And then we can refuel. And then, if possible, just follow the bigger roads to this upgrade. And then up to the last tower. That is the plan. Now I should set some markers. So I want to go down there, just around, and then this one should be easier. having to mute because the elevator is being noisy. There will be a time, more than one most likely, where I will mute because the elevator is making noise. And then I will forget to unmute and not realize unless someone mentions it in chat. But if there is no active chat at the time, there will be 20 minutes of silence while I think I'm not muted, or I forget that I am muted. What are you doing? Stupid tower. I really don't like the collisions where the camera freaks out. It's gonna slingshot, so I'm facing uphill. And a lot of spider winching. What I really should do is make a note of the time now. So I can check for myself if the elevator is very audible. I'm sure you can hear it, I just don't know how loud it is in the stream. It's like a loud whir when it stops. And then a clunk. I guess honestly, apart from it being annoying when I'm recording or streaming, I am kind of getting used to the elevator and the noise it makes. Like really, it is probably the biggest thing we didn't notice that we should have noticed, or that we wished we noticed before we moved in here and before we signed for the apartment. Not that it probably would have been a deal breaker. It's just a very big question currently. What can even be done about the noise? But it's coming from above us in our attic. I mean, not our attic, but the building's attic, of which we have a part which we can use, but most of it is just empty space as far as I know. I never went to check there. That's where the elevator motor is. And from where I'm sitting now, it's like above and behind me. And of course it's the loudest on this side. I guess that's really a good thing, that it's more on the side of the bedrooms rather than being directly above the living room slash kitchen. Because then it would be annoying all the time, whereas now it's like in the living room you can hear it, but it's not as loud. I did not think at all where I should be going. Yeah. Just collecting branches. So yeah, as I was saying, I guess it's a good thing that it is where it is and it's not above the living room, because then it would be annoying all the time, because we spend most of the day, most of the time in the living room. Except when I'm working at my desk, which is more often lately. It's just figuring out small things, how to, in a weird way, how the building works, and some things we could do at our old place, which we kind of took for granted. Like, I could always go upstairs and have relative peace, and my wife could be downstairs working or watching TV, doing whatever she wanted to do. And we were out of each other's way that way. Whereas now in an apartment, we're always closer together. It takes a bit more coordination. Which is a bit difficult for me. Like, I think that's, to some extent at least, like a conflict avoidance thing, which I have often to a fault. Wait, completely driving past the upgrade. It's a good thing I noticed when I did, not when I was halfway across the map. This side seems easier, but it probably isn't. I keep interrupting myself. I have trouble asking people for favors. Like, I mean, not that it's even a favor, it's just basic communication. Where if I want to record or stream, sometimes I don't. Like, I don't ask my wife if she can be quiet for a few hours, because then I feel like I'm inconveniencing her. But then I get a bit sulky because I feel like I can't record or stream or do anything which I consider productive. But she can't know because I don't ask her. Which is just not really a healthy way to communicate, or to not communicate. It's a flaw. a vice. Is it a vice or a flaw? I think more a flaw than a vice. Like a vice is something you do, not something you don't do. Oops. I don't know. That made not a lot of sense. Okay, this will require some strategic winching. Or not. The loaf is growing on me, I have to say. Had some hiccups right out the gate, which were just due to not knowing how to drive it. I would never call it the best scout in the game, or even top 3. But it's proven to be more capable than I thought it would be. Okay, let's just go refuel. There is only one more tower to do here. Would be nice if I could get that done, but even though I have as much time as I want, really. Mrs. Mush is out for an all-day wedding shoot, and she won't be back until pretty late at night. So, in theory, I could stream until dinner, and then after dinner as well. I don't know if I will yet. Yeah, we should check out these tasks. Although arguably, I could just as well check them out and add them to the list in a different truck, which is more mud capable. Because the main mission right now is just to do the towers and whatever upgrades I can easily get to. I recorded the first BeamNG Drive video last night. It is technically edited, but I should go through it again a second time. So it's likely not going to be finished today, which is Saturday. Should be finished tomorrow though. Where was it? Oh. The marker disappeared because I was close enough to it. Usually it's convenient how wide or how big the radius is around markers, so you don't have to go exactly through them to make them disappear. But sometimes, like now, when I'm not really paying attention as much as I should, it's a minor inconvenience. Okay. Where is this? Deliver TUS 166, which is here. And I assume that needs to go here, where we are. Yeah, I guess this is another one we will get to keep after we finish the task. I think I made a mistake. Yeah. I don't specifically remember even refueling. I must have done, but I forgot to also refill the expanded trunk. Which sounds like a plastic surgery thing, but is not. Well, in a way it is. It is a mod. Just like plastic surgery, where you expand the trunk, is also a mod. I didn't set a route yet. I wanted to go here. I think from memory it's best to not follow the road here. I'll have to see, but that is where I need to be. Yeah, I don't remember. I started watching a 4+ hour video on YouTube earlier today of like a very thorough analysis of Hereditary, the movie. It's kind of crazy. I know there is a lot of symbolism and like hidden things, Easter eggs, etc. Double layers and everything in that movie. But I have the impression that it's gotten a bit out of hand, where people are maybe seeing things where there aren't any. Some of it is confirmed rather by Ari Aster, allegedly. But, just makes me wonder if it's become one of those movies where people try to see hidden meanings and such, where it wasn't really intended. This is an awkward place to get stuck. Alright, well, I don't know what I was expecting. But this might be unfixable. There is still some movement. I can't really go up a gear, because then I'll just dig myself in more. We're kind of out. I mean, the font is mostly out. So can't reach anything. Yeah, this is not great. Just want to see if I recover. But I don't really need to be here except for these two tasks which I wanted to accept, but they can wait. Yeah, we're not really moving forward anymore, although kind of are. It's not really forwards, but more sideways. Okay, okay, okay. Yes, 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 yes. In a sense, I was correct to not stay on the road there. It didn't seem that much easier to go left off the road. I'm gonna try and not wreck this fence. Not even sure I could. Don't fall sideways into this rather big hole. That fence broke of its own volition. Okay, what is this? Deliver to the hangar con loaf. Which is here. Where's the hangar? I don't really know. There isn't a location marked hangar. Oh, there it is. Yeah. I can see where the choice is gonna be with this, is either you take it out this way and then it's easy along the road, but this is probably gonna be kind of difficult. It looks very very tilted. Or you're gonna want to go this way, which is shorter, but probably even more difficult than this. So, you know, it's not a choice I have to make now, so I'm not gonna think about it. Gonna have a look at this. I can even find a way out because this is a bit maze-like. Yeah. Is there a path? That's like to the right between these fences. That's not gonna be super easy. I guess I should really just bust through this. Yeah, okay, so there's the Tuz. Not really something I want to do with the loaf. Tempting as it is, I really shouldn't. The only reason I'm tempted to do it is to have access to a different scout. But that is assuming that I will get to keep it, which I don't know. So, to be revisited. Now, that's might be tricky. I vaguely remember this section not being very easy to deal with. But maybe that was in a bigger truck and not in a scout, so we'll just have to find out. I think if I can get to that task. Oh, whoa. In one piece. I will just recover because then we're. Oh no, because there's this. But never mind. I was gonna say I might as well recover and head back out again from the garage. Oh, whoa. No. is a chance I will end up with my wheels. Kind of. Well, I'm on 2 of my 4 wheels. Check. This isn't worth a screenshot. I don't know what is. Pesky tiny flies. It's hard to choose an angle. Well, yeah, from here I can't really do anything, so that task and this one will have to wait. Just recover. Get rid of that. I do want to get to this. Or try to. Doesn't look very easy to reach. And there is what looks like a Hummer. So yeah, just follow the roads. Back through here, which was not necessarily easy. Getting a bit peckish. It's that feeling where my concentration is starting to slip a bit. And I start to get a bit sleepy and hungry at the same time. Come on. Probably should prioritize the tower before the upgrade. I could live with not finding all the upgrades in this stream. I mean, in this map, in this stream. I would be a very, very tiny bit sad if I didn't get that last tower. And most likely, if and when I will get to the last tower, there will be more upgrades to do anyway, so I think I answered my own question. Except I don't know which way was best to go, because I remember there being some big water crossing. Maybe I should try to go up here and follow the smaller paths. Every time I hear the elevator spring into motion, I try to be quick enough to mute, because the second part is always the loudest. Not when it starts, but when it stops. And then I have to wait for a few seconds to see if there's another, like, if someone called the elevator and is then in the elevator. Like now. I'm making an educated guess that it is too loud, or it would be too loud if I forgot to mute. Which is just a bit anxiety inducing, because then it seems there is more at stake if I fail to mute. Doesn't help that I'm kind of forced to use an expander to make myself loud enough. So if I turn up the gain on my interface more than I have it set now, the interface clips and it just doesn't sound good. So I have to set the interface as high as it. Jesus. I assumed Saturdays would be quieter. There has been quite a bit of traffic in the building all day. This is a very pretty view. In a way, it makes sense that Saturdays are busy because people are not working, so they have time to do other things and go shopping and do whatever. So note to self is that if I can stream on Fridays, I probably should. Or just do it late at night when everyone's asleep. That is a thing I have been thinking about, as I mentioned at the very beginning, or closer to the beginning. It might be best to shift my YouTube activities to nighttime. My concern with that is that I kind of got into a sort of fixed schedule of when I stream. It was always from 2-ish in the afternoon to 6 or 5 or 6-ish. So maybe by now that's when you most expect me to stream. So if I would change that, then maybe that wouldn't line up with your schedule of the regular viewers. In the end, it probably doesn't even matter that much, because, you know, all these streams will be, you will be able to watch them afterwards anyway. They are all on the channel still. I went into the map to set a marker for the tower, and I forgot to set a marker for the tower. Hopefully Fridays and Sundays will be quieter. Maybe Saturdays are no longer the ideal day to stream. I don't know why I did this. I assumed it would be what you were supposed to do to keep the vehicle level. Very much not the case. Getting back to roadcraft again, because there is another factor at play which I didn't really realize until now. One issue with roadcraft, another one, is, like I said, that it's not SnowRunner. But apart from just being different games, even though I know they are different games, I know that now. I wasn't sure before I tried the demo. You know, in my mind, they still kind of work the same, but they really don't, because even the, you know, the mechanics for how you turn on all-wheel drive and deflex and low gear and all that stuff, it's much more basic. Maybe that depends on the game mode. I don't know what game modes there are. I saw something pass by during the initial startup that there was something about fuel consumption, which is by default not a thing. But if I understood correctly, it is something you can enable. This is gonna be rather difficult. I don't know how to approach this. Yep. One thing why it doesn't win from SnowRunner, this is precarious. And I'm gonna fall. Yeah. Damn it. To finish my points, I didn't realize how used I was to SnowRunner in terms of muscle memory and stuff, like spider winching, doing all the gear and extra function stuff. That I don't really like that I have to learn how to play roadcraft in terms of controls, because it's very different from SnowRunner, when I thought it would be very much the same or similar. This is kind of annoying. Don't even really know what to do now. Trying again will very likely result in the same result. So either I would have to retry, just be more careful, or I would have to get a truck out here to pull the loaf back onto its wheels. Neither of which I really want to do. Well, I guess I might as well take a ride in the Tayga. Probably going to be the more capable one of the two. That's hideous. That's kind of cool, but also a bit too garish. With some trucks, I'm just used to seeing them in a specific color. Like with this, when I think of this truck, I think of this color. When deep down, I think I prefer this one. Does not matter. I realized too late I forgot to check if there are some useful add-ons like this. And maybe kind of looks off. Right now. Probably nothing else I really want to mess with. Yeah, anyway. Should I already put something on this in terms of add-ons, or is it not necessary? I do not know. I'm just gonna leave it as is. Oh wait, before I forget. No, we found a raised suspension, but it was not the one for this truck. So I want to see where this thing needs to go. Sorry. A very sudden but intense itch. I remember this road as having several sudden impact points like that when you're going too fast, which I am doing. I'm not sure. This doesn't seem like the best way to go in a bigger truck. But then how would you go? Because all of this is uncharted territory, so I'd have to just guess and explore. don't really like the look on the front bumper. Buyer's remorse. How easy does it deal with this? No problem. Now here, I'm tempted to go down here, down there, and then just try to find a way either up here on the far end or up here. Yeah, we have to explore it anyway. I think ideally if I can get to the tower, that is probably where I'm gonna leave it for today, because well, there are a few scenarios. If there are more upgrades which will be unlocked by that tower, I won't try to get to any of those, or the other one we still have to do, i.e. this one. If this last tower doesn't reveal more upgrades, I might still try to get that last one we have on the map currently. Mostly because I'm curious what it is, and I also want to have the raised suspension for this truck, even though it doesn't really seem to need it right now. You know, it should have raised suspension. Just follow along, and yeah, that is that crossing just there. I remember using the Cat 745C for that. There seems to be a truck. About to see what it is. Looks... What is that? I'm curious, but I don't want to deviate from the mission. Can I see from the map? No. Is that the Zix whatever? Might be. Now, I could go up here. Shouldn't be too difficult. Doesn't look very difficult. Or I just follow along and see if it's easier from the other side. No. Just realized I forgot to check if my webcam is obscuring any HUD elements. I should maybe crop the camera frame just a bit. I experimented with a few different positionings for the camera, either in front of me on my main monitor, even on a mic stand to my left, but none of that was really ideal in my opinion, so it's just where it always has been, even before the move. Because ideally, in the longer term, like maybe in the near future, but it's not a priority as such. I would want to have some kind of decorations behind me just to add interest. So it's not just an empty wall. Yesterday I realized, wait, what do I want to do? I could try to get up the hill in the Tayga. Maybe that's not such a bad idea. I think we're gonna struggle with the loaf no matter what we do. Unless there is an easier path. Wait. Let's winch this guy back upright. Probably can't switch. No. Alright. That was my mistake. Just want to get out and then elevator. I hope at least the initial whir of the elevator is not too disruptive. I want to see if there's any kind of path up here which I could take. And let's get back to the decoration train of thought while I casually roll again. Okay, I don't think this is gonna work out with the loaf. It dawned on me yesterday that since we own this apartment, technically the bank owns it, but you know what I mean. I could, if I wanted to, hang some of my guitars on the wall. Because no upgrades, it seems. Unless I missed, no, of course there is. And the alternative camera placements always pointed the camera straight at the door, which is not the most interesting feature in the room. Whereas now it's pointing to the wall behind me, kind of. So if I would hang, I think 2 is probably the max that I would be able to hang there. Hang 1 or 2 guitars there. Trying to think what else. Could hang some shelves, maybe put some stuff on there. Not that I have much in terms of interesting decorations that would be, or what am I even trying to say? If I had some kind of memorabilia or collectibles or whatever, I could put them on shelves behind me, but I don't really. So guitars are kind of the most logical choice. As much as I kind of fear hanging guitars on the wall, because in my mind they're gonna fall off at some point. Like the hanger itself is gonna break, or it will just come loose in some way. It would be nice still. Very roundabout way of getting to a point. There was one more upgrade here. Question is, how do I get there from here? Just down past the loaf. Back to the road, can accept this. Can refuel if necessary. I don't think it's necessary, but it might be. Seriously, I should. What's the word in English? Is it tally when you draw lines to count things? In Dutch, durven. I should do that every time the elevator gets used. Wait, so down this way I could check out this. Maybe I could get this out. I don't know where it needs to go. I vaguely remember maybe you have to take whatever truck here. I don't know if it's going to be this one. But then back on this road and down to this upgrade. That is the plan. I am stuck on a branch. I was stuck on a branch. Do I want to bother? Yeah, probably should. Ideally, if it can reach the loaf from here, just about can. That was not how I expected it to happen. I release, it's probably gonna flop over again. Or not. And I should just make sure it's in a somewhat stable position. This will do. Change back. Right. Doesn't feel like there was a lot of progress this stream. But in a sense there was. We uncovered all the map, found a few upgrades, found the Tayga, most importantly. We bought a very useful truck, which I haven't used yet, the Azov 6. What is this? Deliver bricks. It's deceptively easy. And it looks easy, which is very deceptive. Next, I would like to check out that small truck, which I suspect is the Zix 745, whatever. There's a time trial here. What do you need to do? Reach 5 points. Oh yeah, that's gonna suck. As with all contests ever, all the contests after Michigan, I am not going to worry about getting gold. I'm just gonna treat them as a normal challenge. Doesn't really matter. It's not worth the aggravation to try and get gold on all of them. Because generally, if you don't get gold the first time, to me that's just a sign that it's going to be too difficult to get gold. So oops, big knock. Is this a fuel station? Doesn't look like one. Forgive me for my criticism of your infrastructure. This is nothing. Must be something. I don't know. Just to mention what you can expect in terms of videos, there will be a bit of BeamNG. First video is, I mean, I mentioned earlier, but in case you didn't, or in case you missed it, then recorded the first BeamNG video with various missions or scenarios. I don't know what to call them. I think I did 2 rally stages, 1 arrive thing, like a what was it called even? Get Down, the one where you tumble down a cliff and try to reach the finish. This might be a bit too ambitious. I am still continuing East Shade. Although I'm thinking to maybe make fewer episodes but longer ones, so that there doesn't have to be a weekly East Shade video. I can just make them 1.5 hours or maybe 2 hours even long. Because I'm getting to the point where I do want to sort of finish that game soonish. Not sort of finish, I want to finish that game soonish. I'm still enjoying it, but I feel like it's dragging on just a bit, that series of videos. What was that? Nope. This one, right? Yeah. 6, 5, 3, 6, 8. Which I need to get from here all the way down to the parking here. It's hard to say how easy or difficult it's gonna be. I would probably want to get it across here and not, although I guess you could take it up here around so you avoid this kind of, it's not necessarily difficult, but it's a bit treacherous. And then down to the road, and then you're pretty much there. Ideally, you could pull it through, and then it's mostly roads. Hard to say. I don't know why it's struggling so much. I thought this would be pretty easy. I don't know if it's stuck on something. Oh. It does not turn on. I can give it just a smattering of fuel, if that's even remotely the right expression. Doesn't want to budge. Very likely that's due to the tires. Yeah, that's not really gonna do it. Okay. Try to get out of this. I don't really remember how difficult this is to cross. So for science, maybe I should. Preferably while staying within reach of a winch point. Although seems to be fine. Yeah. that's probably what I want to do with the Zix. Maybe the Azov will be able to do it. Should be able to do it, I reckon. And then just through here and to the road. That upgrade right here. Should be fine. Famous last words. It's very possible, I think, that everything is more difficult than it really is, because that's what I remember it to be from my first playthrough, when I didn't have the Tayga, like from the start. Raised over the loaf, but I already have the active suspension, or the crawler suspension. So that's not really what I was hoping to find here. Is it just this one upgrade? There might be more hidden ones that aren't marked on the map. But I will only find out if I check Map Runner or at the very end of the region, when I think I will have found all the upgrades, but then I'm still missing some. Yeah, not sure what to do here. It's tempting to just go with the Tayga because it's much more stable. But I might as well try in the loaf, except then I have to go back the other way, or no. Could go here and then what? Maybe it's hard to say from the map how tricky this terrain is. I do remember this being not necessarily easy. Definitely this I don't want to do with the loaf. So either through here and around, or the shorter way around. Past the warehouse. Right again. No, not right again. Straight right here. There. And then just figure it out. I'm pushing pushing myself just a bit to get that last upgrade, which is dangerous because I'm much more likely to get into situations, especially if flies keep landing on my head. Fruit flies. Very annoying. Joke's on him, because there isn't even any fruit to be found here. Oh, whoa, whoa. The Tayga has lulled me into a false sense of security. Leave it in low gear until we get to the tarmac. If it is tarmac, it's not really. Oh, it is. How can tarmac not look like tarmac from 10 meters away? Very poor quality tarmac. I'm gonna skip the fuel station. And try to not overcook any of these bends. Just do what Richard Hammond did in his, what was it, like a Nissan van? The micro van in the Man with the Van challenge. Still one of my favorites. Oops. I do wish Top Gear was still on Netflix. It used to be for a very long time. The last, I don't know, 5 seasons or so. They used to be on Netflix, and they were my go-to thing to watch on repeat during lunch or whatever. I'm sure we're not alone in this, but we never really eat at a table. Because in our previous place we didn't have a table because there was no space for it. Which sounds like it was a very small home. It was not, it was just full of other stuff. We did have a dinner table at some point, but it was just taking up too much space and it was really just a big shelf. And we still ate dinner on the couch while watching whatever. Oops. Currently, we do have a table of sorts, we have a kitchen island, which is very nice in and of itself to have that much counter space. But on 2 of the 4 sides, there is like a half table. It's a very clumsy explanation. Like around the kitchen island, or the 2 sides are lower at table height, is what I mean to say. But currently those are also still just shelves for whatever stuff that hasn't been given a place yet. And even if that counter/table was empty, most likely if it's just the 2 of us, we still wouldn't eat at it. Because we're so used to dinner with a movie. It's not really what it means. Usually the dinner is before the movie, not during. Please don't let me get stuck here again. It would be very embarrassing. Just skirt around the outside, avoiding the reeds. Yesterday, Mrs. Mush gave me not a clue even about my birthday present. My birthday is on the 4th of September. I just randomly mentioned that I felt kind of a growing urge to buy myself something, just not even for my birthday, just I'm a strong believer that sometimes you need to buy a bit of happiness, no matter how much it costs. Just can be anything from a game to some piece of music gear, new guitar, whatever. A sim wheel is most appropriate now. But yeah, I just brought that up without any build up or holy crap. Getting stuck again. And that is not helpful. And yeah, when I told her this, she said that maybe I should wait with buying myself anything because she already has my birthday presents prepared and purchased. She said I will be very happy with it. I have no real clue what it might be. She did say I could get it already now, or yesterday, today, tomorrow, if I really wanted to and couldn't wait. But I'm not a big fan of getting birthday presents or any kind of presents early, because then there's nothing left for the day itself. I'm very close to stalling, and I don't know how to fix it. Okay, so much for that. Can I... kinda... very brute force winch myself back upright. Can't even be just straight up here, if that's possible. It is possible. Yeah, anyway, I don't know what the gift is going to be. I have no idea. And she is a very good gift giver. I don't dare to hope for the sim wheel, because I don't think she would know which one to get. Well, at some point I did explain to her, this might sound very weird, but sometimes when we're in bed and she wants to sleep, but she's like her mind is too active still. Sometimes she does ask me to quote unquote talk in my ASMR voice. which is just my voice. So she can fall asleep. And I do remember a few weeks ago, or a bit longer than that, that I was telling her about, I was going through my process. And I feel like you already know what I want to say, but I was thinking out loud about which sim wheel would be the best choice for me, for my purposes, for my budget. So she has heard of the models I'm most interested in, but I don't think that's enough information for her to know what to get. And it's not on a list anywhere, as far as I know. We do keep lists in Google Keep, which we can both access, like a shared list with things we would like to get as birthday present. Just have like ideas if we can't think of anything ourselves. Full-on grad raised suspension. Kind of useful because I would like to get the Voron D at some point. No, the grad. I don't know where I was going with that train of thought about the presents, except that I really don't know what it could be. Yeah, that's all the upgrades we have, or we had, uncovered. If there are more, they could be somewhere along these roads, because I haven't really been here yet. Definitely this road is a strong contender for a sneaky upgrade, which I feel like should be visible. I keep forgetting if in all cases there is like a car wreck. I don't think there is. Where am I? Yeah, even here. I thought there was a car wreck somewhere close, but I just went past. Either it wasn't there or I forgot where it is. I don't know. Trying to remember where the other ones were, because then I can maybe verify. I don't know. Doesn't matter. So for now, it's all the scouting I need to do in this map, so we can probably recover the loaf, and we can start doing actual stuff, tasks, contracts. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for now. It's been 3 hours, 23 almost minutes. I think next time I just want to get started with these tasks. Try to get these two added to the list. I also want to see how you can unlock the gates. should say somewhere, but in the rewards, doesn't it ever say gate unlocked or something? That's not it. Refueling services, no. Trailer store. Nope. Warehouse access. Garage access. Oh, wait. For this, you need to do geo-research triangulation. That's what Jay said earlier. But where is geo-research? Oh, this. But that's not in this map. Or is it? This is kind of confusing. Not gonna lie. I wish it would just say gate unlocked. So this is locked behind triangulation. Triangulation is locked behind starting point. Starting point is locked behind looking beyond the horizon. Oh, okay, this one. This one unlocks all the gateways. But this is locked behind exploration. Okay, so maybe I should skip the tasks and do this contract first. I don't think there are any tasks like bridge repairs or anything that opens up certain routes. So really, if I want to progress and specifically progress towards finding the Tatrin, I should do this contract first and then this one to open the gates. Sounds like a plan to me. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this one. I was gonna say for today, but there is a chance I will stream a bit more after dinner. Tomorrow I will definitely have time to finish that BeamNG video. So I'll be able to publish it tomorrow night, Sunday night. I don't know why I'm mentioning this, because this is not really relevant and will be outdated information soon. Yeah. Thank you for watching. If there's anyone still here lurking, lurkers are most welcome. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching, for listening to my yapping. And I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.